Welcome back. You're still watching Closing Trades right here on ET Now. Ajay Bodke, Head Investments at Investment Strategist and Advisory at Prabhudas Lilladher joins us on the show right now. Ajay, good to have you. What's the weakness that we're seeing in the market? Are you taking this as an opportunity to buy, or do you think there's still a fair amount of global uncertainty that the market needs to price in on the downside?
I think I have been of the view since the beginning of the week that the market will trade in a channel on the upside. 77.50 clearly look to be a difficult level to breach, and on the downside I still maintain that 7450 looks a very strong support level. But as you rightly said, I think the geopolitical tensions in the Middle East are weighing on the market, and the flare-up in the crude price that one has seen, along with the weakness in the rupee, I think is clearly acting as a double whammy and sort of bringing back fears in the minds of investors about the possible impact that this could have in case the conflict were to strengthen and the rise in the crude were to continue on the current account. I think that essentially has been the reason why the market is under pressure. But I still feel that any dip in the market would be used by investors, both domestic as well as foreign, to buy into the Indian market, because the firm trend of a medium-term bullishness, I think, continues to remain in the market.
Ashwini used the dip in Bharti to buy it today, and look at that stock, it's running up further. So that's telecom. Today's flavor, Ajay, seems to be defensives, and rightly so. My question is on IT. And what does one do there? Because the currency, quite contrary to what most people anticipated on May 16th, has actually come off from those levels due to these global tensions. What does one do with IT? Do you feel happy that they will anyways benefit and therefore log on to more gains? Or are you circumspect of the market at large and therefore just stay lightweight on this sector, which is not coming off from the highs that it is clocked in?
I think even when the market was weighing in favor of cyclicals, our view always was that we need to have a judicious mix of both defensives as well as cyclicals. And primarily that was underpinned by the fact that the global economy is on the mend. We have seen extremely strong second quarter GDP numbers being posted by the US economy. We have seen Europe coming out of recession. The UK economy also is on an extremely firm footing. So I think all the major markets for the IT companies clearly seem to have turned around. And hence the only headwind that the IT companies were facing was the rupee strengthening. But now that I think even that has become a tailwind, I see no reason why people should not be looking at increasing their exposure to IT companies. And in that context, we've been advocating investors to look at Infosys, Tech Mahindra, and Wipro as medium-term bets in the large-cap IT space, and KPIT in the mid-cap IT space. I think we are looking at a 12-month price targets of 4,040 rupees for Infosys. We are penciling in around 12.7% growth in top line for FY16 on the back of 8% top line growth current year, and earnings growth of around 15% the current financial year, followed by 12% in next financial year, and with a strong ROE of around 24.4% expected in FY16. A stock trading at 14.5 times, in our view, offers an extremely strong opportunity and entry point. Wipro is another stock where we are very positive on, and we are expecting a 12-month price target of around 680 rupees on Wipro. There we are expecting around 12.5% growth in revenue current year, followed by 12% in next financial year, boiling down to 16% growth in earnings for FY16 with an ROE of around 25%. I think the stock again there is offering very good entry point at 13.2 times FY16 earnings. Similarly, I think in mid caps, KPIT is what we are advocating. There our target price is around 200 rupees with a 1-year perspective. And there we are expecting a revenue growth of 10% current year, followed by 13.3% next financial year, and earnings growth of 26% in next financial year, at ROE of around 21.5%, and the stock is trading at only 9 points FY16 earnings.
You know, what did you make of SBI earnings and particularly the PSU banking space at large, Ajay? Because it was split right down the middle. There were some howlers and there were some companies wherein the profit growth was very good, but the asset quality was a bit suspect. What about SBI and then the rest of the pack? What do you like here?
Yeah, I think our analyst has been positively surprised by the SBI numbers, both on the net interest income front, where there has been a slight beat vis-a-vis our expectations, and also on the operating profit front, as well as net profit front. So I think SBI numbers clearly are a shade above market expectations and our expectations, and SBI along with Axis Bank and HDFC Bank continues to figure among the top picks for us in the large cap banking space. Specifically in case of SBI, I think we are expecting a 14% growth in revenues in the current financial year, followed by around 15% in the next financial year, and an earnings growth of 34.7% current financial year, followed by 34% next financial year. So I think we have a 12-month price bracket of around 3,000 rupees in case of SBI. HDFC Bank and Axis Bank are the other top picks that we have in the banking space. In case of PSU banks, I think, as you said, it's a story of two halves, contrasting halves. There are certain banks that have posted good numbers, SBI being one of them, Bank of Baroda being the other. There also have been certain banks which have given an impression that we are not yet over the hump insofar as the a problem of bad assets and restructured assets are concerned. So one will have to really be very picky in case of PSU banking space, and we would advocate only going in for banks like SBI and Bank of Baroda at the current juncture, and then look at the private space and look at Axis Bank and HDFC Bank on the private banking space.
And understand we have to let you go, Ajay, in a bit, but maybe squeeze in the last couple of questions. Firstly, in the auto component space, and I don't want to discuss the Mothersons of the world. They are discovered stories, everybody knows about them. It's a great stock to own, I agree. There are a lot of these second-rung auto component names which have come out and sprung a surprise in earnings, be it an MM Forgings, be it a JBM Auto, and these are companies that are transforming themselves as well. The trajectory looks good, the order books look okay, the managements are painting a rosy picture. Anything in this space that you like, and do you particularly like the auto component space in the first place?
We are very positive on the auto component space, and one of the stocks that we have been advocating very strongly for last more than a year now, which you have asked me to refrain from commenting, but I'll just make a mention of it. It's Motherson Sumi. We still feel there is tremendous value there, and I'll come to one other pick that we have. But Motherson Sumi, I'll just spend some time. Then 4.3 billion euros of order the company has in Europe, which it will start implementing very soon, and that will sort of propel the growth of Motherson Sumi over the next couple of years, in addition to the fact that they have very strong market position in India. And there I think we are expecting an earnings growth of around 28% current financial year, followed by 38% in next financial year, revenue growth of around 18% CAGR from current FY14 to FY16, and with ROEs of around 37%. The stock trading at 18.7 times in our view offers a very good entry opportunity if you are looking at a medium-term holdings. Coming to another strong pick, I think LG Balakrishnan is what we have been advocating investors look at as a core holding. It has a very strong position in automotive transmission space, one of the largest suppliers to Bajaj Auto as well as HMSI. It's also present in the metal formation space, metal forming space. We are penciling in a 14.5% growth in revenues from FY14 to FY16. CAGR in earnings, we are expecting a growth of more than 20% in EPS from 48.2 in FY15. We are expecting it to go to around 58.3 in FY16. Company's ROEs of around 20% in FY14 should go up to around 21% in FY15 and should perk up further to around 23% in FY16. And the stock is trading at just 8.4 times or thereabouts FY16 earnings. So looking at the strong market position, strong corporate governance the company has, I think LG Balakrishnan is one stock in auto ancillary space which we would like investors to look at from a medium-term perspective, and we are expecting a price target of around 600 rupees between say 12 to 15-month perspective.
Ajay, I understand we have overshot our appointment with you, but really good of you to join us. Thanks for being so patient with us today, and thanks for sharing some of those names as well. Really good having you today. That's Ajay Bodke of Prabhudas Lilladher. By the way, just want to point out Bharti once again before we go into one more piece of news. Just pull up the intraday of Bharti once before we get into one more piece of exclusive news. Couple of percentage points up at 373. Not bad going. But more news in the telecom space, Tanveer.
Oh yes, indeed. In a fresh control.